Hello everybody, my name is Chris Miller and we are here to discuss our persuasive speech for oral communications at CCU. So what we're going to discuss today is which gum is better. This was kind of a fun task to do. So we're going to discuss three different types of gum. I got these three types from a few leading websites, and basically the top three gums are Stride, which is number one. Has a very interesting package. It is smaller pieces than the standard long skinny piece. It's got a very interesting box. Every box has a unique character based on the flavor, things like that. The next brand is Orbit. Orbit has a very similar box. Instead of a trifold, it is just one opening with all the pieces inside. They are still the long skinny pieces of gum. Easy closure and open. It's a graphical box, but there's no characters or anything in the box. The next is Trident White. It's a different type of gum. It's capsulated, so it looks like little medicine pills that you would take out. They slide in and out pretty easily. They don't fall out. All three are peppermint, so we tried to do a very valid test. So we did some research, which was pretty fun. Attached to this video, you should have the visual aid, as well as the outline of the discussion. So basically, according to this, there was three different brands, two testers. We tested the length of time the flavor lasted, the consistency on a level of 1 to 10. Was it pleasurable in your mouth? Was it real sticky? How was it? Then the level of flavor. Was it very strong? Did it taste well? Did the flavor did it last, but was it consistent? Was it real robust for the first 10 or 15 seconds, and then after that it just kind of started dying off slowly? So we kind of graded each brand independently, and so based on the test that you'll see in the visual aid. So tester 1 went through the test. Stride, length of time was 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Tester 2, even 5 minutes. Consistency for tester 1 was a level 7, which I would think would be pretty good. Taste tester 2, same. Consistency was pretty consistent between the two testers. They were a 7 as well. Level of flavor between tester 1 and tester 2, level of flavor was an 8. So it kept a good robust flavor for the whole 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Tester 2, same way. They were a 7, kind of a high end, but didn't really die off until that 5 minute mark. Next brand was Orbit. Length of time flavor lasted was 6 minutes and 30 seconds for tester 1. That was a minute longer than the Stride for tester 1. Tester 2 was 5 minutes and 25 seconds. So that was about 30 seconds, 25 to 30 seconds longer than the Stride flavor. So consistently, both testers noticed that the flavor lasted longer on the Orbit versus the Stride. Consistency level. Consistency was an 8 for tester 1 and a 7 for tester 2. Pretty consistent with the Stride. Tester 1 thought the consistency was a little better than in the Orbit than it was in the Stride. And then level of flavor was a 9 for tester 1, which was a level higher than the Stride. They really liked the flavor, and it was the robustness of the peppermint flavor in the Orbit. And then tester 2, they also went up. and they thought that the flavor was a little more robust in the second brand on the Orbit versus Stride. Trident, however, for tester 1, the length of time the flavor lasted was 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So basically, it was much less than the other two. Tester 2, it lasted about 30 seconds, and that tester said, I can't take it, didn't really like the gum whatsoever, so they spit it out after 30 seconds. Consistency was about a 3 for tester 1 and a 1 for tester 2. And level of flavor, 3 for tester 1 and a 1 for tester 2. So clearly, Trident was definitely out. Stride was a second. Orbit came in first on the test. So basically on our individual test, we found that Orbit was a little bit better than what we found online. Orbit comes in, I think, at number 3 in overall national comparison. Stride is number 1, depending based on Top 10's website. So basically, we all enjoy having a clean mouth and minty fresh breath before and after eating. So what Orbit gum gives you that over the top leading brands. As you can tell, the Stride was a little bit less than the Orbit based on our independent test. So here I'm going to provide you with a little bit of info to make the switch to Orbit gum over the major leading brands that you may or may not be chewing. So the 3 main topics that I'm going to have today is why is Orbit better than the competition? So what is Orbit gum's history? So why does it? What was his gum? What does it do? Where did it come from? How did it start? And the major benefits of chewing Orbit gum over the top leading brands. So first we're going to start is why Orbit gum. So the public view of Orbit gum, basically Orbit is in the top 5 chewing gums in the United States. It is globally known. According to the Wrigley website, it's been around since 1944 and basically has many varieties, many flavors. The test that we did independently was against the sugar-free. So sugar-free brands between Stride, Orbit, as well as Trident. And basically the competition, of course, the number 1 gum is Stride. It's very flavorful. The packaging is pretty robust. They give it a nice pop when you open the package, and very interesting, more comic type design. Basically, the Trident is sugar-free like the Orbit. It has many different flavors. However, the taste doesn't last as long as the Orbit, as well as it doesn't last as long as the Stride. So, based on some of the public view of these gums, Orbit kind of stands out as one that it stands with the rest. It does give the top competitors a run for their money. Trident, on the other hand, it does not. So what is Orbit gum's history? So basically, ordinarily, originally created in 1944, like I had mentioned, and basically it was basically a brand that was created during World War II. Wrigley sent all of their major brands over to the military, the war troops overseas, and so all of their manufacturing was done for the military at that time. So that was part of what they were doing. They were sending everything over. And so basically after the war, or while the war was going on, Orbit was what they were doing to supply normal civilian Americans with chewing gum. So after the war in 1946, the brand was discontinued once Wrigley was able to sell all their major brands. In 1976, Orbit was reintroduced, but not to the U.S. It was reintroduced into Germany, Switzerland, and Holland. Basically in 2001 was when Orbit finally made its debut into the U.S. And the slogan that they came up with to try to hit the market was a just clean feeling. They wanted to present a just clean type of feeling after you've eaten, as though you had just brushed your teeth. So from 2001 to 2013, there have been 16 different flavors created that have hit the market. Of course, there were some that kind of went out and didn't do real well, but those 16 main flavors that have stuck, they were all introduced between 2001 and 2013, and those have become their standard flavors. So why is Orbit so much better than the other brands? So Orbit was first to receive the ADA, which is the American Dental Association seal of approval. Basically, Orbit gum has proven its benefits over the others in helping to improve our oral health. So basically, chewing gum can prevent 4 things from occurring or to occur. So basically, it neutralizes plaque acid. It remineralizes enamel on your teeth. It helps clean away food debris, which is what you do when you brush your teeth. And it reduces oral dryness. So it keeps your mouth nice and moist while you're chewing it, so you're not getting that dry mouth feeling, so you're not constantly wanting to snack or things like that. So currently today, Orbit does lead the pack in dental safety. They do promote that. The American Dental Association does promote that Orbit is the #1 leading chewing gum in the United States when it comes to dental health. So basically, I've kind of given you the view of why Orbit is better than the competition. I've given you a little brief history of Orbit and why it's a little better than most of the other brands that are out there. To me, Orbit is a really good gum. It does kind of taste better and last a little longer than most of the others, personally. So I really hope that with this new information that I've provided to you regarding the Orbit gum, that it'll give you at least a little bit of curiosity to go out and try a few other things and try a few different gums, and hopefully maybe stick with the one that we found that kind of leads the pack in flavor and also dental hygiene. So anyways, I hope everyone has a great evening, and you guys have a enjoyable rest of your evening. Thank you very much.